I want to show you is look how obvious the round nuclei are. See how round they are? This is the basement membrane or basal lamina. See it coming along here? Here's the lumen. So this is your luminal surface, right? But this is some kind of a duct in the pancreas. This is acinar tissue right out here. Okay? All right, what are we looking at? Ovary. This is the ovum right here. Okay. Now we haven't covered this much in lecture, or if we have, I need to come back on Thursday and finish a little bit. But this is the ovum right here. This dark line is representing the what we call zona pellucida. Sometimes it's much thicker, sometimes it's clear. Again, it depends on the tissue, depends on the stain, all kinds of things. And then see the cells that go around the outside from here to here? That forms what's called the corona radiata. Corona means ring around the outside, and radiata because the cells kind of radiate out. And then this has a name too. See this little area right here underneath the ovum, but between the edge of the follicle? This is called the cumulus oophorus. Again, you'll have time between now and Thursday to look that up. It's called the cumulus, C-U-M-U-L-U-S, oophorus, O-O-P-H-O-R-U-S, oophorus. Cumulus oophorus. This is a high mag of the ovum. Now, you'll say, that looks like the lens of the eye. But we're not doing eyes, right? But anyway, that's the ovum. Then here's the zona pellucida right here. See, from about here to here. You don't see any cells in here, do you? And then once you get out here, this is the what? Corona radiata. Now, if I go back to this slide, what's this space called right here? That's the antral cavity or antrum. And what's it filled with? Liquor folliculi. It's the follicular fluid, liquor folliculi, or antral fluid. You can get by saying antral fluid. Okay?
And what's it called again? The antral
cavity.
Cavity.
Or antrum. Right. Okay. I'll be impressed if anybody knows what this is. What's this? What organ is this from? What do you think? This is the liver.
Oh yeah, it's a
This,
really low pack.
this, and this. See that little thing? That's a bile canalicculus. This is a high mag of hepatocytes, and what you're seeing there, these are the little channels. See that, like right there, in between. Here's a hepatocyte. Here's a hepatocyte. All these little channels. There. Those are bile canaliculi. Those are the little tiny channels that carry the bile in between the hepatocytes. Again, take a look at this. Make a mental image of it. This is another high mag of the liver where you see a bile canalicculus, or 2 or 3, right? See right there? Bile canalicculus, right here. Go back and look in your book at the pictures, and you can see these bile canaliculi, right? And they're going to be ringed with tight junctions because you don't want bile leaking into the tissue. Okay, what's this a slide of? What's this a slide of? Huh?
Is it the ovarian cortex?
No, this is pigmented skin. This is your stratum basale down here. This is your stratum spinosum. See the little spines between the cells? Okay, this is your dermis down here, right? This is melanin granules in the stratum basale. Okay, look right here. Remember the nodes of Bizzaro, right there? Okay, that's what part of this is forming. See how I got the little tiny connections? These cells are migrating towards the surface. See that little point right there? See how there's a triangular point right there? See how there's a triangular point right there? See how there's a big triangular point coming down here? Those are little spines that you see in the stratum spinosum. This is what gives its name, stratum spinosum. Does anybody see what I'm talking about? This is a high mag of pigmented epidermis, or pigmented skin. You see a little bit of dermis down here. So what's this cell most likely?
fibroblasts.
Right. These are probably fibroblasts down here. And then what would these pink things be?
Dense, irregular.
Well, there'd be collagen fibers, right? Making up the dense, irregular connective tissue. See, this is the thing. When you learn histology, you got to go low mag, high mag, everything in between. You got to learn cellular structure, subcellular structure, and organs. It's a big continuum. What kind of tissue?
Pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium.
And I really don't see many scattered mucus-secreting goblet cells, but they could be there. This could be one right here. That could be part of one, and there could be one down here. But this is a pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. What is this thing right here?
Capillary.
That's a small blood vessel. Might be more than a capillary because it looks like there's 1, 2 endothelial cells. See how they have several endothelial cells? Okay, this is your hyaline cartilage here. So what's this space called? Lacuna. And what's trapped in it? Probably a chondrocyte, because see how nice and round it is, right? Now, if you're up here, this is where, see how you're in the pink, right? So you're starting to form cartilaginous tissue. This is the beginning of a chondroblast. What's out here? What would these be out here? If this is a chondroblast, these would be what? Fibroblasts. No, chondrocytes are down here. And then this is, what's this called right in between here? Remember it had a chondrogenic layer and a fibrous layer? Right? Does it all come back to you? Again, you got to go back and think of everything you learned all semester as far as like the tissue types. What kind of epithelium is this? Moist, stratified squamous epithelium. Here's your basement membrane down here. Here's your surface. See the live nuclei? See how there's nuclei out on the surface? So where would this come from? This is likely either from the vaginal canal or the esophagus or the oral cavity. They all have the same type of epithelial lining. It's really hard to say when you just see a little chunk of the epithelium. So if I put this up there, I say, what kind of tissue is this? You say moist or non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. And I say, give me 2 places where you might find it. You can give me either vaginal canal, oral cavity, or esophagus.
Also oropharynx.
Yeah. As long as you give me a right answer. All right. It's a little bit faded out, but what am I looking at here? Again, this is reality. This is what you get. Not in textbooks. This is what you get when you look under microscopes at slides that are provided by companies. This is a parietal cell right here. See the purple right here? See the purple up in here? This is one of those large parietal cells, okay? Sitting down in the bottom of a gastric gland. It's got a nucleus right here, and then the clear areas here, they're really not showing up very well. I'll have a better parietal cell to show you. I just want to show you this one so you can get in a feeling how much the other ones look. Okay, what's this? Name the, what tissue is this?
Keratinized, stratified squamous.
And what's this a slide of? The epidermis of what? Thin skin. Obviously, there's not a lot of corneum there, is there? It's obviously thin skin. If you don't put thin skin, you're not going to get full credit. You see the difference between thin skin and thick skin? Do I have to go back and show you thick skin, or you got a mental image? Okay? What's this? I don't see a lucidum. Do you see a lucidum? I do see a stratum basale right along here. I do see spinosum here. I do see granulosum, and I see corneum. This is another view of skin. It's not thick skin. It's not really thin skin either, but it's kind of in between. But I would ask you this. See right here? See these cells that are purple? What other things have you seen that you see cells that look like this in the middle? This is clearly the granulosum. That's your pivot point. This is your spinosum, and this is your basale. Again, not everything looks identical to pictures you look at in the book. This is why you have to use your judgment. What else could this be? Can't be an artery. There's no tunica, intima, media, or externa. All right? Do you see what I'm saying? So use your clues to help you answer the questions. All right. What kind of epithelium is this? Pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. That's all you need to say. I don't see any mucus secreting goblet cells. Okay, what organ?
Thyroid.
Adipose tissue. No.
Prostate gland. Remember I showed you the prostate gland the other day? Okay. This is what the prostate gland looks like.
Is that?
No, that's prostate gland. All right, what are we looking at here?
Ovum.
This is a follicle. It's got a large antrum. See the antrum? Right? It's got the ovum, and then what's this area around it called? Anybody, real quick. Got to go through this quickly. Zona pellucida, and then what are these? Corona radiata, and what's the fluid inside here called? Antral fluid or liquor folliculi. And then what's this area at the base of the ovum where it's connected? That's the cumulus oophorus. I've seen it in your book. Look it up in your book. What are these?
Sperm.
And what do you have to know about sperm? You have to know it has a head, right here, a midpiece, and a tail. Okay, the head is actually a condensed nucleus. The midpiece are helical mitochondria, and then the tail is a flagellum with a 9+2 arrangement of microtubules making up the axonine core. This one shows you actually, what's the lighter area on the top called? Anybody remember what this is called? Okay, maybe we didn't get to it in lecture, but this is the acrosomal cap. This is the remnants of the Golgi apparatus, which contain hydrolytic enzymes. Because remember, the Golgi segregates lysosomes from secretory proteins. Anyway, here's your condensed nucleus covered with an acrosomal cap. Here's your midpiece, which is the helical mitochondria. And here's your flagellum coming down. This one shows you a really good midpiece right there. And sitting right here is what's called a proximal centriole. And sitting down here is a distal centriole. And the centriole is like the basal body, right? It's what the microtubules emanate from. And this acts like a movement coordinator, okay? But anyway, here, the light part at the top, that's your acrosomal cap. That's what contains the hydrolytic enzymes, especially hyaluronidase, which eats away the zona pellucida, which contains a lot of hyaluronic acid. All right, what are we looking at here? You're looking at a combination of intercircular and outer longitudinal smooth muscle. Now, I'm not sure what the cut is, so I can't tell you which is which, but if it's cut in a certain way, this would be the intercircular and outer longitudinal, but if you rotate the tissue 90 degrees, this could be the intercircular and outer longitudinal. Again, it just depends on how the thing's cut. So, you know, but you have two rows of smooth muscle. This is smooth muscle cut in cross section, smooth muscle longitudinal section. You see the nuclei, obviously, right? So you can imagine these being spindle-shaped cells. And notice here, the nuclei are located in the center of the cell, right? You'll say, why don't all of them have nuclei? Because again, if you cut right through here, you're not going to hit a single nucleus. If you cut through here, you're going to hit one, possibly two nuclei. That's why you only see nuclei scattered throughout. Does that make sense? What is this? What organ?
Testes.
That's the testes. So what are those? The seminiferous tubules, and then what are little things in between this triangular area right there? That's the interstitial tissue that makes up the what? Testosterone. Okay? Okay, this is a higher mag of a seminiferous tubule. I'm not going to make you learn the different cell types in it. Just know that this is a seminiferous tubule. These are maturing sperm cells. You see all these? These are the tails of the sperm cells. These are the heads of the sperm cells embedded into the epithelium. This is called germinal epithelium. If I ask you what kind of tissue is this, you say germinal epithelium. On the ovary, the germinal epithelium is a simple cuboidal epithelium on the outside of the entire ovary. But in males, the germinal epithelium is what lines each of the seminiferous tubules. All right, what kind of tissue? Moist stratified squamous epithelium again. And I can't really tell you where this is from. I think this is actually from the vaginal canal. But again, there's not enough to really tell.